And then there's the difficulty of how is it if life forms are preserved, the various life forms are preserved by reproduction methods, that some life forms, some flowers for instance, have evolved in such a way that there's only one species of insect that can pollinate them. See, that just should never have happened. Because the flowers that are going to be most likely to leave more offspring are going to be those that can have many insects pollinate them. Doesn't that make sense to you? And yet there are some flowers, many more than I could give you examples of right now, but many flowers that are pollinated by only one kind of bug, only one. That doesn't make any sense given the theory of evolution. In fact, one of the flowers gives off the smell of rotting carrion. And that's a defense mechanism. Most insects won't even go close to it. There's only one kind of insect. Oh, I wish I could remember what it is. There's only one kind of insect that is drawn to carrion. And so it goes to this flower thinking it's going on carrion, and it carries the pollen from flower to flower. Now, what is the advantage of developing such a horrendous smell if it cuts down the chances of your being pollinated? Differential reproduction. This theory is just, it's got all kinds of difficulties. Well, then, there's also the difficulty that, according to it, I'm still doing my internal critique, according to it, life forms develop gradually. And the reason why certain life forms are preserved is because of their advantage in the environment. But if the development is gradual, and the preserving of a change is determined by advantageous, or it's fitting into the environment, then we have to ask ourselves, why do life forms stick around in a disadvantageous environment? And then change so that they adapt to it. You know, that isn't what we find when we study animal behavior. You put animals in an environment that is not conducive to their life, they don't stick around to evolve for 100 million years. You know what they do? They migrate. They migrate to the environment where their style of life, their particular type of coating or a fur, whatever, is going to fit into that particular environment. Evolution would have us believe, silly though it may be, that sometimes life forms just stuck around and said, well, you know, we're not really going to fit into this environment. I guess we'll have to die out. No, life forms migrate to a more favorable environment. So it's not as though the environment determines which ones will survive. Life forms look for the environment where they will survive. So the theory turns in on itself. Then again, it's supposed to be a gradual development. How do you like this? You know, how are we doing? How's the theory looking?